I'm Weston Kay, and I'm the owner of Rose Anvil, and today we're going to cut apart a pair of Dunks to see how good they are and see what you're really getting with your hard-earned money. We're cutting apart the Nike Dunks, the Panda Edition, because they're so popular and so many people are wearing them, and because they're so popular, the resale price is a lot higher than the retail price. Is it all about the look, or is there actually something about this shoe that makes it more comfortable, a higher quality, or more durable? Is there something intrinsic about this shoe that makes it a popular shoe?
So let's start dissecting the shoe by cutting a few of these panels off or apart to see if this is leather, if it's not, because sometimes it's really hard to tell with Nike's really cheap leather. So I'm gonna pop this swoosh first. And as you can see, it is real leather. So let's do this back heel panel here. That's leather as well. Then to this lace panel, that is leather too. And then to the toe, both of these panels are leather as well. So surprisingly, this whole shoe, the whole upper is made of leather, but it is so cheap and so fake feeling. It might as well not even be real leather.
If you look really, really closely at the top print of that leather, there's lots of little dots in those, but those aren't the real pores and the hair follicle pores from the cow that the leather came from. This is the plastic coating on top with the fake pore print embossed into it to make it look more like real leather. And the reason they do this is because so many people expect Nikes to be identical across the board that you can't really use natural leather that has a lot of benefits with strength and durability and long-lasting aesthetics, because people want very flat, even, and consistent leather. They don't want the variation of a natural material. As you start to wear these, and as you start to get those creases that every sneakerhead is very afraid of and tries to avoid at all costs, that plastic layer on top starts to delaminate and separate from the real leather underneath. Now we're measuring the thickness of the leather. This is measured with our leather thickness caliper, and this allows us to judge generally how durable the leather is going to be. The caliper reads right around 1.5 millimeters thick, so that's pretty standard across the board. Taking the little scratch awl and just lightly scratching away at the surface to show that it does have that really heavy plastic coating on top, because you can see the color difference between that top coat of plastic and the black dyed leather underneath. And this is where you start to run into some issues with cheaper leather, because if you kick a curb or you scratch the leather at all, it's going to change colors, it's going to flake off. Now we're starting to burn some panels. If we do this to a real piece of leather, you'll notice that even still, that plastic coating on top will shrivel away and shrink, exposing the real leather underneath. But once you're to that real leather, it doesn't burn and shrivel and completely disintegrate like fake leather does. It still maintains its shape. It maintains a lot of its structural integrity, even though it's being subjected to a lot of flame. I'm going to take my clicker knife and start at the toe of the shoe and start cutting my way back. And as I pull my knife all the way through the laces and through the tongue, that opens up the top of the shoe, allowing us to, in the next couple steps, cut it more effectively on the bandsaw. When I'm judging these shoes, I'm looking a lot at the leather quality, but I'm also looking at how all the different components interplay with each other, because a lot of times you can have a higher quality leather upper, but if the sole is garbage, you don't get the benefits of having a higher quality leather upper.
I actually really do like this cup sole because it is fully stitched all the way around. It's not a fake stitch, and that stitch goes all the way through the upper into the interior of the shoe. And I highly doubt that anyone's ever had any issues with this separating, because it's glued as well. And so it is a very solid construction style with the cup sole.
After completely cutting the shoes in half and running our analysis on the materials and the strength of them, there's really not a whole lot to the Dunk that makes it special if you look at it just from the construction and the material used. A lot of the hype and the excitement and why people buy these shoes is strictly based around who's wearing them and the popularity of them in the zeitgeist of the sneakerhead culture. There's nothing about this shoe construction-wise that makes it above and beyond. And when it comes to the function and comfort of these shoes, they're not a bad shoe. You've got that foam midsole that's going to give you comfort. The rubber cup sole is going to be durable and grippy. So they're really not a bad shoe on the surface if you can get them for that retail price, because they are comfortable, they are stylish, and everyone's wearing them, and so they're not a bad shoe. They're just a hard shoe to get at a decent price.